He questioned him,
"Are you the king of the Jews?"
"As you say."
Yet, when he was accused by the chief priests and elders, he made no reply. Then Pilate said to him,
"Surely you hear how many charges they bring against you."
He did not answer him on a single count, much to the procurator's surprise. Now, on the occasion of a festival, the procurator was accustomed to release one prisoner whom the crowd would designate. At that time, they had a notorious prisoner named Barabbas. Since they were already assembled, Pilate said to them,
"Which one do you wish me to release to you, Barabbas or Jesus, the so-called Messiah?"
They said, "Barabbas."
"Then what am I to do with Jesus, the so-called Messiah?"
"Crucify him," they all cried.
"Why? What crime has he committed?"
But they only shouted the louder, "Crucify him!" Pilate finally realized that he was making no impression and that a riot was breaking out instead. He called for water and washed his hands in front of the crowd, declaring as he did so,
"I am innocent of the blood of this just man. The responsibility is yours."
The whole people said in reply,
"Let his blood be on us and on our children."
At that, he released Barabbas to them. Jesus, however, he first had scourged. He then handed him over to be crucified. The procurator's soldiers took Jesus inside the praetorium and collected the whole cohort around him. They stripped off his clothes and wrapped him in a scarlet military cloak. Weaving a crown of thorns, they fixed it on his head and stuck a reed in his right hand. They also spat at him. Afterward, they took hold of the reed and kept striking him on the head. Finally, when they had finished making a fool of him, they stripped him of his cloak, dressed him in his own clothes, and led him off to crucifixion. On the way out, they met a Cyrenian named Simon. This man they pressed into service to carry the cross. Upon arriving at a site called Golgotha, a name which means skull place, they gave him a drink of wine flavored with gall, which he tasted but refused to drink. When they had crucified him, they divided his clothes among them by casting lots. When they sat down, and they kept watch over him. Over his head, they had put the charge against him in writing. "This is Jesus, King of the Jews." 2 insurgents were crucified along with him, one at his right and one at his left. People kept going by, insulting him, tossing their heads and saying,
"So you are the one who is going to destroy the temple and rebuild it in 3 days? Save yourself, why don't you? Come down off that cross if you are God's son."
The insurgents who had been crucified with him kept taunting him in the same way. From noon onward, there was darkness over the whole land until mid-afternoon. Then, toward mid-afternoon, Jesus cried out in a loud tone,
"Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani? My God, why have you forsaken me?"
Once again, Jesus cried out in a loud voice, and then gave up his spirit. Suddenly, the curtain of the sanctuary was torn in two from top to bottom. Many bodies of saints who had fallen asleep were raised. After Jesus' resurrection, they came forth from their tombs and entered the holy city and appeared to many. The centurion and his men who were keeping watch over Jesus were terror-stricken at seeing the earthquake and all that was happening, and said,
"Clearly, this was the Son of God."
The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.